All right, so how can the Department of Efficiency, DOGE, bring down interest rates? Well, here on this video, I'm going to prove to you today that my guess, I'm going out on a limb, I'm putting my neck out there, that on January 20th, we're going to see Elon, Vivek, and the team of DOGE come in, talk about all the slashes, the hacks, maybe the jobs, what they're going to do to cut government spending and get that deficit down, but how that might spook the market. When you spook the market the right way, interest rates go down. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Kenny Simpson. Welcome back. If you've never met me, I focus on 1 of 4 unit financing. Whether you are a first-time home buyer or investor, I'm your guy. I got you covered. I've been doing this 20 years, helped over 5,000 customers, funded billions of dollars of loans, and I shoot content like this. Why? Because I want to help you. I want to educate you, and I want you to realize what is going on in this crazy world we live in and how it affects housing, how it affects inventory, how it affects rates. So if you have a question and you need something, hit me up. But otherwise, I'd appreciate it if you share this video with somebody. Also below, you can find in the description how to contact me, like, subscribe, and shoot me a comment if you have any questions about this video. So as I was saying is, I believe interest rates could go down on January 20th, and we're going to get into that. There's 4 ways how I think interest rates can go down between now and January 20th, and we're going to cover them all because you guys are probably wondering, how in the world did the feds cut rates 75 basis points? And how in the world are the rates worse than they were a month and a half ago? Weren't they supposed to be lower? I was waiting around to refi. I was waiting around to buy. I was waiting around to buy that investor property. I was waiting, and the waiting game actually cost me money. I should have probably got that refi done. I should have bought the home. I didn't even realize rates would move up this fast. All these things are going through your head. You're very confused. I get it. We live in the world where things are confusing to us. So I want to break it down for you. I want to help you out. And more importantly, I want to give you the confidence and knowledge so you kind of know what's going on, what to look for over the next few months, because we're going to go through it. You will realize maybe rates will go down. So number one, the good news about rates is there's a little thing that most people don't know about. So let me break it down for you. There's a thing called the 10-year spread, the 10-year treasury, right? Here's a chart right here. You might have seen this. If not, this is something in our business, this chart right here, we look at every day. So if the 10-year treasury today, let's say that 4.4%, if that goes up, that means rates go up. If that goes down, that means interest rates can go down. So we watch that every day in our business to see how rates are doing. Secondly, the 30-year fixed mortgage. Let's just say that rate is at 7% today, just picking a number. So the spread between the 10-year treasury and the 30-year fixed mortgage is typically not around 2.5%. Because if you did the math, you're like, wait a minute, 4.4, 7%, that's 2.6, 2.5. That seems high. The spread typically between the 10-year treasury and 30-year fixed is between 1.6 and 1.8. And that's been going back for a long time, like 50 years. And that can go up and down depending on where we are in the economy market. For example, that went up in 2008. It went up it went up after when rates went up in 2022. So times that are volatile, inflation, things like that, and there's instability and really insecurity, and there's a little bit of stress in the market, that could cause that to go up or down. So what we've been seeing lately is that has gone up and up and up. And then we finally, at the end of last year, we started coming down. So if that was like last year, we'd be having a different conversation now. Interest rates would actually be about 70 basis points worse, if you can believe it. So here's the deal. That was at 3.1. Now it's at 2.5. So that is good news. The 10-year treasury and the 30-year fixed, that spread between, that should most likely, as we get confidence in the market, people think things are going to get better, inflation comes down, all that good stuff, that should start coming down. So nothing in the 10-year treasury, nothing has to happen. The Feds don't have to buy mortgage-backed securities. The 10-year treasury doesn't have to come down. So interest rates could come down with that spread factor over the next couple months, a little bit, a lot of it. Over the next year, we could see that come in effect. So rates could just come down. So whatever, let's say you got quota rate 6.5% today, that rate could be 5.75 if those actually come down to those levels. The second most important thing I want to talk about is data. So data. We live in a world where data matters. We came off a Fed that was more aggressive with keeping rates low. Why? Because we had inflation low. They were printing money. They were buying mortgage-backed securities. They were keeping that treasury low. Why? Because they needed to prop up the economy. When inflation is at 2 or below, they get nervous. So if inflation is at 1 or 1.5 or whatever, they need to bring it up a little bit. They can bring down rates, stimulate the economy, and hopefully get inflation up. Obviously, we just went through a crazy inflationary time coming out of the pandemic. Obviously, the government dropped an atomic bomb of money on the economy between businesses and people and all that stuff, right? And buying mortgage-backed securities, so rates came crashing down. And then they're like, oh my gosh, inflation's out of control, went to 9%. And then they jacked the rates up. And now the inflation's gone from 9.2% to basically around 2.7%, 2.8, 2.6, depending on the month, depending on what's going on. So we've gotten unbelievable downtrend of inflation. That is good news. The bad news is that interest rates really, the long term, have not really come down as much as we like. And if you're watching this video, you're like, yeah, I can't refi, I can't buy, affordability is crazy, like it doesn't make sense, I should rent, like I get it. All these things are going through your mind and everybody wants to know, when are the damn rates going to come down? What is going to bring them down? And that's why I mentioned number 2 to watch is data. And data is actually the most important thing pretty much out of all these. What is in data? Number 1, we look at inflation. In data, we look at consumer spending. In data, we can look at the jobs market. And speaking of jobs market, that right now is the most important thing when it comes to data and rates going down. For example, every Thursday, if you're paying attention to the market, we get initial jobless claims. What that means is that's how many people are filing for unemployment, right? That number has been low. That number needs to be up in the 300,000 plus range. According to experts, we need to see that 1, 2, 3 months so we can start seeing rates come down. That number hasn't hit that yet. So we're having problems there. We've had crazy jobs reports. If you guys have maybe been on the news or read anything, out of the last 2013, 11 out of 12 job reports were off. That means they overstated the jobs on the whole year by over 800,000. Crazy, right? Out of the last 21 months, 15 have been wrong. So they've overestimated in the last 21 months over 1 million jobs that we never got, they said we got. That didn't help rates. Rates could have come lower. The feds could have been easing, right? So data matters. If data doesn't come out correct, it comes out wrong. So data coming out of this pandemic has been really hard to read because it's been up and down, just really mixed. It doesn't make much sense. We get a good print, we get a bad print. And honestly, I feel like the economy, the feds, the rates, they're too sensitive to this. It's a little bit overbearing because maybe you're watching this video, you're like, I don't feel like the economy is doing well. My business is hurting. My job's not good. My friend got laid off. I can't buy a house. Groceries are too expensive. Gas is too expensive. Eggs are too expensive. Travel's too expensive. Going out to eat's too expensive. I get it. We're all living in the same world. So according to data that says the economy is doing good and things are doing well, is that really true? And why they're doing that is because people are employed. There's almost 160 million people employed in the US right now. That is insane. As you can see, the unemployment rate's hovering around the low 4s, which is a healthy market. That means people have a job. They have enough money to pay their bills. You know, credit card delinquencies, mortgage delinquencies, car delinquencies, student loan delinquencies. They're bad. They're not insanely bad. They're not off the charts bad. We're not talking about doomsday economy here, right? So people can pay their bills. Yeah, maybe you're working 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. I get it. So the data is a little skewed and you have to work a lot harder and you can't afford as much and you feel like you're getting pinched. And even people at every level, even people that have a lot of money, the cost of their living to run their life or their business is costing them a lot more. So we're all feeling it regardless of what level you're at. And it's frustrating, right? So at the end of the day, we are going to watch inflation. We are going to watch the consumer if you're spending money. We are going to watch the jobs report, but the jobs report is more important because if people start losing their job, what do? It affects the consumer spending, right? And if it affects the consumer spending and people spend less, the cost of goods would go down because supply demand. So if we keep spending and we're shopping, look, we're going to come up to a holiday season. I'm sure you're going to shop. I'm sure you're going to spend. That's just how it goes. We haven't even hit a recession. We've been talking about a recession. So data right now has not been our friend when it comes to rates. What is something else that can affect interest rates? So number 3 is we got to put it on there because we're living in crazy times. Number 1, a pandemic. You saw what happened. People lost their jobs. We got locked in. Market flew down, this, that. So something out of the ordinary, something unexpected. So what could affect interest rates that is out of the ordinary? A pandemic, a war, a hurricane, natural disaster, something crazy like that. All of a sudden the consumer stops spending or something shifts in the economy, a shift in sentiment, a new election, a new administration, things like that. So something out of the normal could definitely shift things. So if we broke out in war or something, that could cause disruption in the market. That could cause insecurity. That could cause doubt. That could cause worry. That could cause people to pull back from spending or people to get laid off. So we're living in times where a war could break out. We could have to, and we're living in it. We're watching it right now. So we just don't know where things are. That's a sensitive topic. That's why I put it on there. And number 4, last but not least, one thing that I'm very excited about is DOGE. DOGE. No, not the Doge coin. No, it's Department of Government Efficiency. And let me tell you why I'm excited about it. Number 1, what you might not understand is because we are so much in debt, we are spending so much money, we're actually taking money that we could be using for other things like buy mortgage-backed securities, help interest rates go down, and fund that part of the piece to bring rates down. We are funding this unsustainable government and out of control spending. That does not, my friends, help interest rates at all. So I'm very excited about DOGE because whether you like Trump, don't like Trump, it doesn't matter. Push him aside, push politics aside, push it all aside. We are focusing right now on one thing and one thing only. The government spending is out of control. If we keep going down this road, we are going to see a major crisis, a major crash where the government won't be able to bail us out. They won't be able to print money. What they're going to do is we're going to have to go through a nasty or gnarly recession. We're going to have to go through an asset reset. You don't want that. I don't want that. So what everybody wants, their housing, their 401ks, their jobs or this, they want it all to be up and good, right? So we need to get into that government and we need to cut the waste, cut the spending, cut all the crap and get it out of there and be more efficient and bring the cost down. If we bring more of the cost down, we have more money for other things. That means we can bring the inflation down. So why I'm bringing this up is because anytime you notice when the Fed said, I'm going to cut rates for the first time, they actually did it right before that. Rates were low because that is a good thing. The market loved it. They rewarded us with low rates and then rates went back up because the data is, they're saying is showing signs of, hey, maybe we're going to have more inflation or we're not sure what the Trump administration is going to do, whatever. So there's excitement, there's overreaction, there's underreaction. So that's what we live with, right? So that's how rates are. They move all the time. It's very frustrating. But my point is, if you're listening to what these guys are going to do, my guess, my judgment, my call, I'm going out here on a limb. I think when January 20th of 2024, when Trump comes in the office and all this team comes in, you're going to start seeing a lot of announcement things. But one of the things that I'm excited about is DOGE. I think you're going to see Elon Musk, Vivek come in there and they're going to talk about all the cuts, all the waste, all the excess spending, renegotiating contracts, misappropriation of funds, like where stuff's going. You're going to see them say we are wasting billions, hundreds of billions, trillions, whatever it is, and we're going to cut this and we're going to get rid of this and we're going to do that. Can they do it? I don't know. Will they do it? I just don't know. But what I do know is if they announce that and that really happens and they announce some major cuts and things like that, that could spook the market. That could signal the market, oh, we're going to start going into less spending, less this. That's good for rates. It really brings inflation down, right? So if that happens, there might be a moment in time. There might be where rates come down and bring us some relief here. Because right now, I don't see any relief on the rise unless we get one of these things that I talked about. Unless the spread between the 10-year and 30-year fix comes out. Unless some crazy event, which we really don't want, breaks out. Unless the data gets really bad or just starts to fall off a cliff and worry the economy and worry the feds and worry, people go, oh, does it look good? And then things get worse, that brings rates down. Maybe Trump getting in there and making moves will settle the dust and maybe we'll get some, but we need some love here. We need something big. And I think DOGE is going to bring some really big events. I think it's going to definitely change the game. I'm excited about it. We're going to keep monitoring this. So anyways, that is my take on rates. You might agree with me, not agree with me. I do this all the time. I study data. And right now, people are calling me all the time. Hey, Kenny, what do you think rates? What's going to happen? And I was definitely more confident that rates were going to come down. And now we got the rate cuts, 75 basis points. The rates went back up. Rates went back up. I've kind of lost my confidence. I've kind of thought like, man, I need to see one of these things going to have to give a little bit to give a little bit rate back. And so which one is it going to be? I'm sure you're smart. You can figure out which one is the top of the chart. The spread's coming down. Definitely. I think that's definitely a big thing. The data getting worse. I think there could be a little bit to bring it down. Us having some crazy event between now and the next 3 months. I hope not. That's not what I'm wishing for. Let's avoid that. But the Department of DOGE, I think we're going to see some major cuts there. We're going to see some major announcements. And I think that might spook the markets, spook the people, and hopefully spook those rates to get them down. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. Please share this with somebody. If you have any questions, hit me up. Love to hear from you. Also subscribe, share this with somebody, like I said. And I appreciate you watching. Be in touch.